Hello everybody, this is Matthew Kenslow. I'm over at on the campus of Vanguard University. Just finished probably with my penultimate day in biochemistry lab. It's November 17th, 2020, and I thought I'd just make a random video just explaining, or more like reflecting on what happened a decade and a half ago today, 15 years ago today, which I guess I posted all over Twitter and such. The explanation first is that I go crazy with blimps. I've always loved blimps. They've always intrigued me. I don't know why, but there's just something about blimps and such. I have a whole long history of blimps. I remember seeing blimps when I was really young and such. So on this day, Thursday, November 17th, 2005, I was at Newport Heights Elementary School. It was conference week, so there was no class or no school on Wednesday, but it was early out Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. The bell rang. I think it was 1:15 p.m. if I remember correctly, Pacific Standard Time, and I was just done playing handball. I was rushing back to class. School was done in like 5 minutes, and one of the lunch aides asked me while I was running back to class, did you see the blimp? And my heart just stopped, or so, that sensation feeling, and I thought I missed it. I mean, she asked me, did I see the blimp? And I thought I missed seeing one of my favorite aircrafts. And as I was thinking this, and this all happened in a second, I turned around and there it was behind me. Now, obviously, different campus. I was over in Newport Beach, but still, I turned around and there it was. So, and all that was happening in a second. So I rushed over to the jungle gym real quick to get a closer look. But, I thought, because it was a little bit of a distance away, and I was like, is that a Goodyear or is it graffiti? Because I didn't see that blimp before. It had many shapes and colors. It was a Ameriquest, and here's a picture of it. This is not my photo, but this is what it was. I saw this all the time in 05 and 06. It's like a Hope livery. I'm not sure if they call it livery for blimps or not, but I missed that blimp. Last I heard, they don't fly them anymore, but anyway, I thought it was just amazing. So I went back again. School was just getting out, and I went outside. My mom was there picking me up, and we just saw the blimp, and it literally banked, like it was like the perfect view for us. It was as if it was banking across, was it 15th and Santa Ana, I believe, and we saw the mooring lines glistening under the sun, and I looked over and I saw a couple of students pointing at the mooring lines. I turned around. My mom had this incredible, like, wow countenance, and she was calling my grandpa at the time, my grandfather, over at the mechanics, and according to my grandfather, the blimp was right over his head. So if that was true at that moment, then there must have been a duplicate, because the mechanics was a few blocks away, and it's literally my dream to see more than one blimps. I literally had dreams of seeing more than one blimp at any one time. It never happened before. I don't think it happened before, but it was just amazing. So we picked up my grandfather at the mechanics, but we, instead of going to the mechanics, we just picked him up at Mother's. Well, now it's a Mother's Kitchen. It used to be Borders bookstore, and my mom remembers that as a movie theater back in the day, back in like the 80s or 90s. So we went over there, and I was trying to take a look through the window, and I did get like 1 second glimpse of it, and if there was a duplicate, which I'm not sure, that might have been it. That might have been the same one, and I was just so upset and ecstatic, in a upsetting way, because I thought we were going to the mechanics, because if we did and we got on Newport Boulevard, then I for sure would see the blimp again. If there was a duplicate, I would have seen two at one time. And so my grandfather got in the car, and I told him that there's a blimp, or I saw a blimp. Well, of course I knew that he knew that, but he sarcastically yelled back at me, "You saw no blimp." And I guess he was tired that I was just so intrigued with blimps all my life. And again, I don't know why. They're just blimps, but I don't know. But anyway, we went back home. I was disappointed not to be able to see it again, and I'm like, okay, no way am I going to be able to see a blimp for a long time, because that's usually how life rolls. You never see blimps that often, even here in Southern California. But anyway, we went back to the school for some reason, my mother and I, and she had to go to the office to pick up something. I don't remember, I just stayed outside. We were going back to the car. We parked at the nearby Knox Street where we used to live, and all of a sudden I look up, and by the palm trees I see a Sanyo blimp. It's a white with red lettering, Sanyo. I used to see those all the time back in the day too, and yeah, it was just a Sanyo blimp right there, and I just went ecstatic almost. Well, inside that is, and so as time, I was just very ecstatic across the street, and I get on this like thin like brick wall or something, jumping on the brick wall as I was going from point A to point B just to try and take a glimpse. And like before, I got like a 1-second glimpse of that. We get in the car and we go down, and my mother turns on Westminster heading toward Heller Park, and I'm trying to get a glimpse of it, and I'm not joking, I look back, and it was like this low, dark, like a dark silhouette blimp, and it was just coming upward, and my mom and I saw it, and we were both amazed. And I'm not sure if that was actually the same one or not, if it was the Sanyo or not, because it would have to be very fast to like come down, but it's possible. But anyway, then we got home, and I had to do my homework reading, which we have to read like I think 30 minutes a day or something, 20 or 30 minutes. And obviously I was distracted. I read outside, or at least I tried to read outside. Then after that, the book I was reading was from the Costa Mesa Library. It was California. It's just a book about California, and pictures and history and such. But my mom, rightfully so, accused me of not being focused because I was looking for the blimp and such. So I guess that's true. So the next, that evening, my grandfather, mom, and I, we went to Thursday night cell group from California Victory Church, and I told everybody there, and I was rightfully called the blimpologist that year and such. And when one of those people, churchgoers, saw a blimp, they would ask me if I saw the blimp, and I would go ecstatic because I thought I missed it. Well, I did miss it, but and then my grandfather just kept on laughing and laughing and such. But I don't know, I just like blimps, and that week from like the Thursday the 17th to Friday the 25th in 2005 was like a whole blimp week, I guess. I doubt that I'm going to make further random videos this upcoming week, so I'll go ahead and say the next day I saw a blimp, the next Monday the 21st I saw a Goodyear blimp at school, and then that Friday I saw that same blimp that I saw a decade and a half ago today, that AmeriQuest blimp. So anyway, that's my blimp week, and I've relived that hundreds of times. I've told it to people, but in my mind also I've relived it many times. That night, actually, on the 17th, we were coming home, and humorously enough, we were looking, we got back to Costa Mesa, and I saw lights in the sky, and I was like, is that a plane going to John Wayne Airport, or coming by, or is that another blimp? And I was asking, and my grandfather's trying to concentrate on driving. We were at a red light, and then my mom and I were looking at it, and my mom said it's going slow as a blimp, and then I was like, oh, I think I'm going to have another heart attack or something. And then my grandfather really got mad and upset, or so, like, would you just stop and such. But anyway, that night on the ride home, I was determined, okay, I'm going to write about this. So the next day I did, and I written about the next day. On that day, I started to keep a day-by-day journal, It was called The Story of My Life Part 2 because I already written the story of my life when I was like 9 and such, and I intended for all of these, you know, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, part 6, part 7, all the parts I made, I intended to have them published, but you know, I'm like, thank God I didn't, because my grammar and you know, the most random stories and such. But anyway, and then 3 years later, or less than that, on Halloween 2008, I started a day-by-day journal which lasted till circa 2011, 2012. Then it fell apart and I got too busy with school and such and all that. But anyway, that's my decade and a half. Thank you so much. It means a lot if you made it this far in the video. I just post, you know, from piano playing to photography of naturescapes, airplanes, helicopters. I post home videos, I post encouragements for autism awareness, and I'm an author to a book that's selling around the world, got a couple of awards, royalty published. I'm very happy to see where that's going and what help that is that's doing, like all the help that is causing other people. So I'm very glad of that. So anyway, wherever you're at, morning, noon, or night, whatever season or month, stay strong and have an excellent day. One last thing, it was 12 years ago today, or 3 years after this day in 2005, when I had a dream, probably because this anniversary at the time was the 3-year anniversary, was just stuck in my mind, and I had, you know, a dream where there was like this blimp parade or something, and they were landing at the park across the street, like the MetLife blimp and such, and such. So it was a weird dream. And the day before I saw MetLife blimp, and I thought that was a coincidence because the next day was the 3-year anniversary. If you want, you could, I'll leave a link in the description below of like the Twitter. I transcribed the journal entry and posted it on Twitter, so if you're interested in that, I mean, not telling you, but just if you're interested in that. And what was interesting about that dream is as I was rushing out, you know, to get a closer look at all the blimps, I guess, is I saw a dye on the ground, like a green dye, and shortly after, if not the same day, my mother found a green dye just on the ground, probably walking me to, or like walking to school to pick me up, and then we're walking back and such, or somewhere around that date, if not the date, either that date or right after, my mom found a dye that was in my dream or something, or similar. I wonder where it's at. Well, anyway, just wanted to add that. Thanks.